And we're back, people. It's the Anime Club, I think.
You think?
I think. Sometimes I never know.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sekhie Show.
We're definitely not... I guess Naruto, it is the Sekhie Show.
It kind of is the Sekhie Show. Especially because I went on for so long in the last episode. But, okay, so we're on Free Thoughts for this section of Naruto. And I have to say, you know, I have kind of limited amounts of episodes I want to show you. A lot of long-running shonen because I can't really justify spending so many submissions to get you like 400 episodes into One Piece or something like that. But I actually, you know, whereas I think One Piece and Fairy Tail, like, I think the first 40 or 50 episodes is like a decent stopping point for you to judge the series. That's not the case with Naruto because the Chuunin exams and then the Sasuke retrieval and the Tsunade retrieval arc are kind of the high point of the entire Naruto franchise. But they're such long arcs and it takes such a long time to get to them that I feel like that goes up to episode like 150 and that's so many submissions. But at the same time, a lot of like the shit that I'm talking about is only made clear by like the end of certain arcs.
And thus is the problem of long-running shonen. Go see our Talk no Jutsu on that topic, if you will.
But it's not all bad. Naruto's really good, guys. At least the first series, Naruto itself, is really good. I mean, it's of its time. Like, there are problems with it. There's, like, long recaps and, you know, shonen stuff. But it's a overall good series. Now, you know, I don't share the same fond feelings for Shippuden, and I certainly don't have them for Boruto. But, you know, Naruto actually does a lot of really good world building and character development over its 220 episodes.
I don't know. I feel like maybe if I read the manga, my opinions might be different because a lot of my issues are in pacing, especially in the fight scenes.
Okay, but you have pacing issues with everything I show you. Literally everything.
A lot of them are older manga adaptations. Adaptations have a lot of issues with that kind of
stuff. You had pacing issues with Bofuri. You literally spent 5 minutes during the Bofuri episode complaining that the second arc took so long when it shouldn't have. You literally always complain about the pacing in my shows.
I mean, what can I say? You've got shit taste, apparently. I'm kidding.
This is coming from Stay Night 2006.
I never claimed Stay Night is a good show.
All right, let's calm down, guys. We can all agree we have shit taste here.
Yes.
I don't know. I maintain that I have godlike taste in anime.
No.
Fuck you.
No.
Sorry, 3 against 1 here, Sekhie.
Rude. Attacked in my own home.
Look, I genuinely think Naruto would be much better with the manga. I can see I can see the pages of the manga turning as I watch this. I can see how the manga is a lot better about this.
Like, maybe still images, like, between, like, scenes might also help as well. Because that would also give it a little bit more information. Because in this world currently, there's just so little.
Well, I think the problem is, when there is exposition, there's a lot of it, and you guys don't always pick it up because there's so much of it, you get irritated when there's lots of exposition. But the thing is, exposition. Well, no, but you do get irritated. You're like, I keep having to hear exposition, but all of the exposition is kind of there for a reason. Like, often they slip in little things in, like, exposition about a fight that tells you something about the greater world.
Well, I don't like exposition in my fights. That's where I draw the line, is exposition mid-fight.
See, but sometimes it matters.
And I have a problem with exposition mid-fight, and I do prefer that when possible, things are shown to you, not told to you.
Man, fuck, you're gonna hate Neji versus Hinata.
Well, don't get my expectations that low.
No, it's okay. You're gonna love Rock Lee versus Gaara, so it doesn't matter. That's the only important fight in this whole section.
And it's the only other important fight in the entire series.
I personally maintain that Sakura and Chio versus Sasori in the first arc of Shippuden is actually a really fucking good fight.
All right. I guess since that is a topic we can talk about, the exposition in fights, like, my personal reason for not liking it is just because you're already being shown everything in the fight.
Yeah, but sometimes you also need explanation. Like, you don't know how Bug Boy's powers work.
Yeah, I mean, after the fight, I would love that explanation, or even...
But I don't want to be watching a fight and then have, like, 5 minutes of exposition of them standing in the rafters waiting for the next fight to begin.
I mean, this is kind of where I prefer, like, say, because I've watched at least the first season of Akka, My Hero Academia, so I kind of more appreciate the way it goes about its explanations. but that's just my personal
And this
opinion.
is another thing where I think, because you brought up Akka. In Akka, a lot of the characters are introduced over, like, you get them all at once, yes, but a lot of the the actual details of the characters are introduced over time, not just in one arc.
Okay, Akka is building on like 15 years of perfecting shonen tropes after Naruto happened.
I know.
It's like Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Of course it's better at tropes than fucking Naruto.
But that's just an ensemble cast problem in general. Like, you can see the same problem when you're watching a, say, Justice League, to pull out a superhero example, because that's where you see a lot of other ensemble casts.
I'm not gonna judge Naruto too harshly on this one just because it is of its time and it's coming from like the same, like a similar generational style to Dragon Ball and even to a lesser extent maybe Fist of the North Star as well, like that.
I mean, well, when you so let's put it in context, right? Naruto is from the same generation, right, as Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball Z. Those were the big 5 shows when Naruto was coming out, when it was at its height of popularity, right?
Yes.
And Z has an ensemble cast. Fairy Tail has an ensemble cast. One Piece has an ensemble cast. Even Bleach, past a certain point, has an ensemble cast. Like, shonens at this time period just introduced a ton of characters and ran with them all.
Yes.
Like, Lord knows in Bleach, you literally get the background and abilities of every single seated fucking Reaper.
Yes.
Even if you don't like them.
You know very well I have a lot of complaints about Fairy Tail, and a few lesser complaints about One Piece. But I do think they handle their ensemble cast fairly well compared to Naruto. And that is around the same time period.
But it's a different context, right? Because in One Piece, right, they're not working out of a village. They're on a ship in the middle of an ocean. They're pirates. You can't just have, like...
random characters show
and
up
in
out
Fairy
of
Tail,
nowhere.
it's a guild.
I don't mind that they were all introduced at once, but this is again where I think moving the Chuunin exams a bit back and giving us more time to introduce these characters could have benefited, because then you actually get a chance to know these ensemble cast members.
Or just better time management with some of its other, instead of putting in this filler.
But then at the same time, I propose that I think you would have had the problem you have with T.H.E. Because T.H.E in the anime, right, did like 30 episodes introducing the ensemble cast, the daily life arc, talking, like, doing like normal everyday stuff and experiencing different characters.
I just didn't like the ensemble cast.
Okay, no, but like all 3 of you complained in T.H.E that we spent so long on the daily life arc, right?
Yes.
But if we'd spent, like, let's say Naruto put an extra 10 episodes just talking about these other characters, I mean, doing like random missions that weren't that important.
No, I wouldn't have liked it because of the way
it would have been like the daily life arc.
Not even that it would have been like the daily life arc, but it wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can appreciate, and this is the Pokemon fan in me. I can appreciate a slow burn so long as I don't hate the cast like T.H.E.
But you hate. Here's the problem: you hate the cast. So you absolutely would have hated this.
I only hate Naruto so far. I hate Naruto the character. And surprisingly enough, he's the character that gets the least amount of character development so far. So it's not like I'd be that against it.
He does get character development in the part with Haku, Zaku, and Sasuke, but then the problem is they fucking revert to Unga Bunga. They're stupid bullshit, and I fucking hate it. They really didn't need to go that way.
I would like to make the comment that every single... Naruto reverts to Unga Bunga a lot.
Yes.
Like Naruto consistently gets like character development and maturity at moments where character development and maturity is important, but Kishimoto is always very insistent on making him an idiot jokester when it's not important for him to be mature. Mm-hmm. So he always goes back to that idiot jokester when he doesn't have to be serious and emotional.
Yeah.
Because like outside of Naruto, and then some parts of Hinata, I don't hate anyone in the cast. Let me not get this straight. I don't hate anyone else in the cast besides Naruto. I just can't remember them for the life of me because of the way the series is like lays out introducing them.
I don't know. I think that if they had spent more time on the rest of the cast, this might have ended up in a daily life situation though still. No, because like certain tropes of characters would have gotten grating after a while watching them. Like there is only so much time you can spend listening to Neji go, "It's my destiny, it's my destiny, it's my destiny,"
or Rock Lee saying, "Oh no."
Let me bring back a complaint that I had with T.H.E, where it felt like every character needed to be involved in every arc. I'm not asking for that. If one character shows up, like if you have the Neji arc and you're introduced to Neji, his trope, his character, and then he doesn't appear again outside of little side roles and other arcs, I don't mind that, actually. That wouldn't get grading, and then come the Chuunin exams, I know who Neji is. I care when I realize the fact that not every one of these 12 can actually become a Chuunin.
You know, it would be fine, actually, like, if, like, what Nick Neck was just saying. The problem, actually, more so with Katekyo, like he was saying, is more so that these characters just unnecessarily appear when they don't need to.
See,
that's the only problem, really, with Katekyo. But like he said, if we just had them individually introduced to us, I think that would have been a fine way to go about it. We get one episode, one character, okay, cool, done, move on to the next one.
See, I can understand that, right? But first of all, there are 9 of them outside of the initial 3, right? Sasuke, Naruto, and Sasuke. There are 9 of them, right? Just in Konoha, outside of Naruto's team. First of all. And second of all, while Naruto's team get the wave mission, the rest of the other 3 teams are literally stuck in Konoha just catching the cat, weeding gardens, doing groceries, cleaning the river, catching the cat, weeding gardens, cleaning groceries, doing the river. That came out wrong in that last repetition.
Weeding the cat.
Yeah, weeding the cat, doing gardens, cleaning groceries, and picking the river. Like, the problem is, there isn't actually any variation in the missions that Genin can take inside the village. The only obviously Naruto and Sasuke kick up a fuss and they kind of force the Hokage into giving them an out-of-village mission. But canonically, none of the other three teams get that between them becoming Genin and the Chuunin exams. So if we had gotten like shots of them doing stuff in the village, it would have just been a different perspective, like the cat mission 5 times over, the cleaning mission 5 times over.
Here's where I think Naruto would have benefited, though, because it would be pretty rare that you introduce one character at a time if you have 2 teams having to interact on even the most mundane of missions, which could have been cool enough, because think about the Karate Kid
They don't
effect.
have to interact on missions. Each mission is individual.
Yeah, but you have that would mean that in any given introduction, you'd probably have 3 characters. You don't need to make them all have deep emotional backstories, but if you at least have one character to ground them in each 3, and you introduce them over time, even those mundane missions, you could tie in, like, explain why this is important. Do the Karate Kid thing. Why am I waxing your car?
But the problem is, there is no reason that they're important.
Well, then that's just something that they could have worked around with writing.
The thing is, like, the missions, like, catch the cat and shit, or, like, clean the garden, they're not actually important. Like,
well, then, at that point, I ask, that's what it is. That they're not important.
Yeah.
But did they have to not be important when they were being written? Not really.
Well, yeah, but they weren't gonna send newbies out on
Hindsight's 2020, and I don't really care. Too much.
I'm fine with the way Kishimoto has missions laid out. I like the way that he ranks them and what different missions involve. So it makes sense in world like what he's done.
And this is kind of like the main issue. Like, I know that you would prefer this like set a little bit earlier in like the timeline or whatever. At least if this were how things that were to play out.
But the problem is it's all happening concurrently.
Well, it's all happening. Well, concurrently. That it being concurrent is not really the issue. It's the fact that he's starting to want to move away from it. Like, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows. He wants to start showing you like the actual brutality of the being child soldiers and stuff like that. He wants to start getting more into that.
The conflict in the world.
The actual conflict in the world, like showing how hard it actually is. Like the first example we get of this is when we see Haku's past, where basically he was ostracized, killed his entire family, and then ended up with Zabuza, who, quite frankly, probably treated him like shit. But
and a lot of the reason for that was because the village that he came from was prejudiced against people with a bloodline. They said it in his backstories. Like, the village that he's from, Bloody Mist, actively enacted genocide upon people with bloodlines like he had. So he and his mother had to hide, and then when he was found out to have the bloodline, his father tried to kill him because he had a bloodline.
That's great and all, but we're never going to see Zabuza again. He's dead. Okay, I saw that look there. But since he's dead, his character doesn't really matter. So any character development they gave to him could have gone to another character.
This is where I actually disagree with you quite heavily, but
yeah.
I think we've actually gotten quite a bit much further into this, honestly, than it needs to go. Really,
yeah. I like Zabuza's arc. I like him, and I like where it is. I think it's very important because it is Zabuza's arc is our first look at the brutality of the series, and it's from an outsider's perspective. Like, we are looking in at the brutality of another group of people from the perspective of Naruto and Sasuke, who are somewhat more innocent. I mean, obviously not entirely more innocent, because Sasuke has to deal with the fact that his family's been massacred, and Naruto's an orphan that everyone hates. But people aren't actively hunting them in their own village for them having bloodlines. Like, Sasuke's literally revered for having his bloodline.
But, I mean, especially with Naruto, who there is a lot of prejudice against him. You even see it in the Chuunin exams of it. There's a lot of reason you could have characters interact with him and have interpersonal conflict, even doing the mundane shit.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
I mean, we could have actually seen, who's Mind Girl again?
Ino?
Yeah, like, during one of, like, the supposed missions you guys are talking about, just having a rival with Sakura, like, right there.
Well, we did kind of see... Well, no, not really, because the whole time that the rest of the Konoha 12 is doing fucking missions, Sakura's team's out of the village. She's in... The wave mission takes, like, a month and a half.
That's why I asked.
In timeline.
Couldn't we just have removed the Zabuza arc?
No!
I think we could.
No!
You're looking at things as how they are now or how they are as the series goes on. I'm looking at this from the... This feels very pointless in the moment and really detracts from the moment. And I'm not going to watch 60 episodes in to finally realize the importance of the first 12 to 15 episodes.
We need the Zabuza arc. The Zabuza arc is important.
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit, because I understand why it's important.
Okay.
Like, I don't think the arc is useless like Knick-Knack thinks it's useless, but I need a bit more context.
Okay. So, alright, so, just gathering my thoughts. Okay, so, we have a couple episodes, right? Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, the Konoha 9, they graduate, right? They're assigned to teams, they're given mentors, right? And the whole point of them being on teams, as Genin before the Chuunin exams, is to work as a team. To figure out how to work as a team, because these villages send people out in teams to do these jobs, right? They're child soldiers, but right now they're just doing random shit around the village to work on their teamwork.
Menial labor, basically.
Yeah, menial labor to work on their teamwork and just get experience with one another so that they can move on to kind of higher levels, right, of work. And Naruto, being the idiot that he is and wanting to be, the next Hokage and all this kind of stuff. Like, we love Naruto, but he's a fucking idiot. Like, he has no
I don't love him. He's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no,
that's fair.
But
But, right, so he demands a better mission, right? He demands something out of the village, that kind of thing. You have to think, these characters have never left the village before in their lives, further than just going outside the walls to maybe pick herbs, right? Or go to a training ground. Like Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, they have never left the village. And Konoha is a large village. It's well protected. It's prosperous. There's tons of merchants. There's tons of trade going in and out. They get a lot of custom for their shinobi missions. They're incredibly large and incredibly well protected. Their children don't have to worry about threats from other villages. Not really. I mean, obviously, sometimes you have to worry about threats from within, right? There's Sasuke's situation, which is an anomaly in the village. No other clan is getting fucking massacred. Right? Yeah. That doesn't happen to anyone else. So he's an outlier, right? And then Naruto's an outlier because people hate him because of what he is. He doesn't know that that's why people hate him, though, right? So obviously they're going through shit, right? But they've still had a relatively protected upbringing, right? Like, they are relatively safe in the village that they live in, right? They're not really exposed... Naruto and Sasuke are really the only two characters exposed to the evils of the outside world when the series begins. And it's still on more of a personal scale. Like, obviously, Sasuke's family was massacred, but he wasn't hurt in the attack. Like, he was left alive. His family was massacred, but he's very valued by the village. They care about him a lot. Like, a lot of the people in the village didn't want his clan to get massacred, so far as we know. Yeah. Right? And Naruto's a single person. He's an orphan. People always hate orphans. There are always shit people in the world who don't like people who are poor and orphaned and that kind of stuff. Mm. And as far as Naruto's aware, people just don't like him because he's a dirty little orphan, right? At the beginning of the series. So they get this mission, and they get to leave the village, and they're all kind of happy-go-lucky, like, rainbows, we get to leave the village, we're just escorting this bridge builder, it's gonna be super easy, super fun, oh my god, he's so annoying, he drinks all day... And then Kakashi's basically killed in front of them, right? For like a hot minute. They think that their teacher, the person who they view as like the strongest in the world, right? And Kakashi is one of the strongest people in this world, right? Murdered in front of them. And they're left to defend this bridge builder. And all of a sudden, like, what the fuck do they know? They've never experienced this. Like, their teacher, the person tasked to protect and teach them, is gone, right? And he's not gone, but he is for a second. Like, they genuinely feel the fear of their teacher and protector being gone, right? And even though he comes back, it's still there. Like, people died in front of them. Like,
yeah. Like, I mean, like, even though, like, Zabuza and Haku actually, like, at the end of it, ended up dying in front of them.
And so they move on to this wave village, right? And they've never experienced, like, this kind of poverty and systematic oppression by, like, a tyrannical force, right? Like, they come into this village to help this bridge builder.
Like, it's like as much of as a joke you can make out of it. It's literally an evil capitalist trying to prevent this bridge being built.
And Zabuza and Haku aren't trying to kill them out of hatred or a grudge, right? Like, Naruto and Sasuke hold on a second. Give me a second. Naruto and Sasuke understand people having a grudge against them personally, right? Haku and Zabuza do not have a grudge against them.
There's no grudge here.
It's mercenary work. This is literally paid killers being paid to kill.
Like, literally, the second that the guy Gao, or I can't remember his name. Yeah, Gato says that he's going to kill Zabuza. Zabuza immediately says, "Well, Kakashi, I guess we have no quarrel because this deal is off."
Yeah, like, it's almost like he expected it, and Naruto and Sasuke are so confused by that, right? Like, Naruto especially, he's like, "What the fuck? You mean you're not going to pay him?" Like, this is the reality of the world, kid. Like, look at these people, like, forced and oppressed and that kind of thing. And this man is a paid killer. He has no... You think he has a grudge against you. He fucking doesn't. This is his job. This is what your job is going to be. This is what you're being trained to do. Okay, hand up.
I get what you're saying here. It's supposed to show the brutality of the outside world beyond the village walls. But I have a couple problems with that. The first part is we don't really get a good idea of how simple things are in contrast. We don't spend all that much time in the village walls themselves. And also, beyond that, they basically begin the next arc making the exact same complaints they made prior to the Zabuza arc. And then they demonstrate a lot of the same things, a lot of the same brutality outside world in the Chuunin exams. So, in the end, the Zabuza arc feels more like a side story as opposed to actually giving them good character development.
No, but the brutality in the Chuunin exams, right, that's the brutality of the world invading into their turf, right? They can brush off the brutality in Wave, right? Because that's a tyrannical government with a paid mercenary, and he's a rogue ninja anyways. He's not sanctioned by a village. Zabuza is a rogue ninja, right? So in some ways, you can kind of brush that off. You can say it's an anomaly, right? Like, they don't know of any other land that's being systematically oppressed by a tyrannical merchant paying rogue ninjas to kill people, right? But having that brutality come to them, like, come into their homes and affect them in their homes, like Shikamaru, right? He was so convinced in that series, right? When Gaara executes someone in the Forest of Death, he genuinely did not think that anyone would do that inside his village in a monitored exam.
I'm sorry, you're just not convincing me at all on this point.
I don't expect to convince you, or I don't...
I'm just trying to explain the emotion.
This feels like you're going through Sekhie analyzes Naruto, which is not something that I can really grasp fully as a first-time viewer up to this point.
Yeah, but you do this to me all the time!
This little...
I mean, you've gone on for longer on, like, Fate stuff to me in other episodes or, like, other shows. You've gone on longer on Persona.
Yes, I would.
Like, we've all done this.
I was literally preaching to the choir when I was talking about Persona, and none of you guys gave a shit. Yeah. So look, I understand where you're coming from, Knick Knack. I absolutely do. But we're just trying to get the things... we're just trying to get the things explained across to you, is all.
I don't know, just the way it's going on right now, it feels like you want me to interrupt you to make an argument back so we can get more heated.
No, I don't want you to interrupt me. I want you to just listen to what I have to say and then tell me I understand your perspective.
I'm not going to say I understand your perspective, because I don't.
You can confide in the fact that I understand it, Sekhie.
You don't have to agree, but I am trying to explain without including too much stuff that I would have learned from later on. Like, I am genuinely trying to explain why.
Vaughn is the other blind viewer here. What does Vaughn think?
I kind of agree right there. Because, like, we do see a lot of this interaction with the outside world and how bad it is for them. But we don't actually see the thoughts of, like, the three after they come back in the world. We don't see any grief or any thought, like, wait, what the heck is
That's
really
honestly
going
just a
on?
problem.
It's
That's
like,
just honestly,
yeah.
that's honestly just a problem of the writer fucking making his main character a goddamn Nimrod.
Yeah, Sasuke and Naruto aren't the brightest peaches in the bundle. I will say though,
Like, even Sakura could have actually gotten nice character development right there, and
that was never gonna happen.
That was
Kishimoto doesn't like female characters.
I mean, honestly, it would have made the most sense. I feel
For Sakura.
to have that perspective because she did, unlike Naruto and Sasuke, did not have like anything. She had the most privileged upbringing of the main three and had the least amount of exposure to that kind of brutality.
So, if any of the characters should have had like a realization about the brutality of the world, it should have been Sakura. And I will say, those 2 episodes after they get back from Wave, where they're just doing random junk missions, forgot that those existed, did not like those.
I think the main problem here with Sakura, at least in the Zabuza arc, was just the fact that she was literally standing there and just watching.
Honestly, you know what would have made this entire section so much better would have been if Kishimoto had been able to write Sakura as a good character having realizations about the brutality of the world, because you can't really get those from Naruto and Sasuke. They're too fixated and dumb. But Sakura, I mean, she has her worldview blown, and then Kishimoto doesn't follow through on it at all. Like, she could have been a great lens to, like, see the characters realizing the brutality of the outside world. Like, if she'd had, like, an inner conflict about whether or not she really wanted to be a ninja after experiencing this.
Let me put something into perspective. Do you want to know what my favorite episode overall, not fight scene, but episode overall of Naruto has been? It's been the one where Naruto met a kid who was as annoying as he was and made a bond with him and had an interpersonal connection, and for once in his life actually like had someone who respected him in a way.
Konohamaru. And
to me that felt more meaningful than anything that was done in Zabuza or Chuunin so far.
It's okay. It's okay, Sekhie. We can just move on at this point.
Yeah, I know that you're not going to agree with me. I know that intrinsically, but I view the Zabuza arc as very important in early Naruto, especially going into the Chuunin exams, so... And I kind of hated Konohamaru.
If only Sakura were written better.
That is the story of this entire fucking series. If only the female characters were written better.
Or at least there's another fucking male character who had at least some sort of semblance of smarts.
Oh, Shikamaru?
Well, no, I meant, like, and also actually followed the main three going outside and was pure and fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
Treated that way, but smart, nonetheless.
So in terms of recommendations, I mean,
Run the gambit of shonen.
Yeah, it just all of the big shonens, right? Like, if you like shonen, you would probably tolerate Naruto. Like, you just have to realize that it is an older show, and this is where a lot of the tropes in things like Boku no Hero and Demon Slayer have been condensed from, so it takes a little longer to get through them.
At least for this early part of Naruto, Boku no Hero is definitely a modernization of it.
Yes.
Like, anyone who's seen Boku no Hero and parts of Naruto can absolutely see that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, when I was watching this, like, I started watching Naruto, and I got into Bleach, and I got into Fairy Tail, and I was into Dragon Ball Z, and they all
share a set of tropes here and a set of, like, character archetypes.
And honestly, they all kind of share the same pacing issues, so it's not really an issue if that's all you're watching.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I necessarily have any specific shows, because I will say, we talked about it in One Piece, right? Is that there aren't really any shows like One Piece. There aren't really a lot of ninja shows like Naruto is unique in the sphere of ninjas. Like, there's a lot of shows about ninjas, but Naruto's pretty fucking unique among them.
Among them, yes. I'd say I think the only, like, strictly, like, a ninja show that I can really remember off, like, the top of my head is one that I used to watch in, like, middle school, which is Nabari no O. I remember I just...
Fucking hate Nabari no O.
Yeah.
It's so bad. You're the reason I watched it, and I
Yes.
fucking hate that show. This is nothing like Nabari no.
No, I'm not saying it's anything
Yeah.
like it. I'm just saying it has ninjas.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it has ninjas.
No, that's fair. Nick Nack and I did a talk on ninjas and samurai a week or so ago that you guys saw.
joke.
It was a joke. It was a joke episode, but it was there, and we did mention a lot of shows that had ninjas and samurai, but none of them are really the same. Like, a lot of ninja and samurai shows have a lot of things in common, but Naruto doesn't really have a lot in common with any of them.
I know a ninja show, I know a pirate show, and I know a samurai show.
No!
Pirate Princess Fina has ninja pirate samurai.
But it's
Oh my
also
God.
but it's also not like Naruto at
No.
all. Like
Yeah, no.
I will say one thing. Naruto is unique in the sphere of shinobi ninja shows.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
at least there's that. It's kind of like One Piece. One Piece is unique in terms of pirate shows. Not that there are very many of them. You know, kind of a niche area.
A very niche area.
Yeah. So I'll give it that. I'll give it that.
So I think at this point we might want to just pull. We're running a bit long in the tooth here.
You see, you think that's a problem, but I'm gonna edit these to hell and back. Let me pull up my tracker.
Yay.
Is it Sekhie again?
What?
It's me.
Oh my god.
It's me.
Really?
It's me. It's
Oh,
me.
God.
It's me.
Hey Vaughn, if I bring up watching Madoka Magica again, will you smother me with a pillow till I die?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, think of it this way. Think of it this way. It's me, which means I only have 2 submissions left in the hat after this. Also, you guys are going to be watching Fairy Tail this
son.
section.
Yay!
I will send you the list of episodes later because I don't actually know them off the top of the head. They're on my old phone
Alright.
in my notes app. I haven't transferred it yet. But, actually, hold on a second.
Knick Knack wants to die right now.
Hold on.
Definitely feel like it's gonna be a better experience than Naruto.
Knick Knack, if I get the gun right now, will you let me shoot you?
Yes.
Okay, I showed you guys up to episode 20 last time. So we're going to be watching 21 through 32.
Okay.
Simple 11 or 12 episodes only. It's 2 separate arcs. So we're going to be watching the Phantom Lord arc and the Loki arc. Of the 2, I actually like both of them. I think they're very good arcs, and I especially love the Loki arc.
How many episodes around?
It's like 12 episodes.
Okay.
It might be 11, actually. Like I said, it's 21 through 32. It's not a lot. And personally, my favorite arc of these 2 is the final 3 episodes, which is the Loki arc. I think it's genuinely an amazing story. We don't really get to do a preview, obviously, because you've already seen some of Fairy Tail.
Well, we should do what we do with the other things. Just real quickly, I don't want to run us too much longer. I think, who had the Mez beside me last time on Fairy Tail?
I think I had a Meh as well.
I don't remember.
I think at least Realm and I had a Meh. Vorn might have had a Meh too. What does it have to do to impress you here?
Okay, I was the only approval.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does Fairy Tail have to do? What can Fairy Tail fix to rise you to an improved? I like to consider this, especially on shows that we've received pretty lukewarm in the past.
It's been so long since I've seen since our last little watch through of Fairy Tail that I honestly don't remember where we really left off.
Well, here, I could tell you. So,
Okay.
my first submission was episodes 1 through 10, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I fucked up. I cut us 2 episodes into Galuna Island. They destroy the moon.
Yeah.
So our second submission, 11 through 20, was just finishing that Galuna Island arc, which was destroying the moon. So Gray had a lot of character development. We saw Urza quite a bit, but she didn't really have a lot of development. Obviously, Natsu and Lucy were there.
Yeah.
And there was the Ice Mage that was Gray's kind of adopted brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then the arc ended, we got back, and then there was a filler episode.
Okay.
I'll say for me personally, Fairy Tail needs to do one of 2 things. It needs to decide it wants to be more serious or decide it wants to be more lighthearted. The in-between right now, I think, is the big problem for me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the main improvement that I need going forward in this one as well. It leans a little bit too much into its comedy especially when it shouldn't.
Oh, fuck yeah! Sorry, Phantom Lord and Loki are actually very serious arcs in the series.
Good.
Going forward, actually, the next 3 arcs I'm showing you right before my favorite arc are all actually very serious arcs that have to do with, like, actual bad people and, like, shit happening.
Let me preface this. It also needs to feel well written if it's going the serious direction,
Yep.
which I will leave that to Sekhie to predict.
You know what? Okay, I like Phantom Lord. I think Phantom Lord is a serious arc that I really enjoy. I think it's fairly well written for what it is. But out of the 2 arcs you're going to be seeing, the real winner is the Loki arc. It's only 3 episodes, but the Loki arc it's fucking heart-wrenching. Like, it is genuinely one of the best written arcs in this entire show. And part of that is because Natsu's not the main character. He's not even there for most of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't have as much of a problem with Natsu compared to Luffy and Naruto himself, so...
Yeah, but no, I think you are actually really going to like Phantom Lord and Loki, because Phantom Lord is going to explore more the guild itself and less just the idiotic missions undertaken by, you know, Natsu and Urza and everyone where they destroy shit. Like, Phantom Lord has to deal with the actual guild and real-world consequences and that kind of stuff. And then Loki is an arc about Lucy, and I love it. It's stunning. It's actually stunning. Like, I might actually be a little upset if you guys don't like at least the Loki arc, because I feel so strongly about how good I think it is.
Well, we shall see. You've had some wins and you've had some losses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually have good hopes for this next section. I do think that you guys will like it more than the first 20 episodes. Galuna Island was kind of a weird arc anyways, but Phantom Lord and Loki are much better.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to stop it. Remember, everyone, to try harder,